2019 was the year of death in the Dominican. 11 American tourists out of over 2 million American visitors died while visiting this Caribbean country. But my family and I decided to tempt our fate and visit anyway. We checked into our beautiful resort, the Now Onyx. Here are some pictures of the lobby, and then headed out for night activities. The next morning, after some of our group had danced with the hospitality staff the night before, we explored the hotel grounds and then headed down to Uvero Alto Beach. It was a beautiful beach and we had a great time. Our resort had beach volleyball set up, and we enjoyed playing this every morning with other hotel guests that were there visiting from around the world. After spending a little more time at the beach, we decided to head up to the hotel pool. The Now Onyx has the #1 rated pool in Punta Cana by some publications, and their pool did not disappoint. That afternoon, I decided to take a long walk along the beach and explore some of the other areas. It was a beautiful beach. Our resort also had a wonderful gym that I would often use in the late afternoons before getting ready for the evening activities and dinner. Even though we might split up a little bit during the day and go our separate ways, our group would always get together at dinner and enjoy time together. And here are some pictures of our group as we were getting ready to eat. The resort had some wonderful restaurants, and I always looked forward to our evening meals together. Then we would head to the show. After the show, the entertainment staff would often have some kind of other activity. And our first full day there that evening, the activity was my absolute favorite. It was a silent dance party. Everyone would have headphones, and there were 4 different stations that you could choose from, and they all had different music. And you could hear that music great with those headphones, and you would just dance the night away. We ended up just drenched in sweat by the time the night was over, but it was one of the most fun things that we did. The next morning, after a great breakfast, we headed back to the beach. That morning, we had a photo shoot. After the photo shoot, it was time for some more beach activities, and here is Erica participating.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
As you can see, some of those activities are very dangerous, and so that is another example of us dodging death. Then it was time again for our morning volleyball games. After volleyball, we headed back to the pool to cool off and then participate in some more of the entertainment staff activities at the pool. They had lined up a whole row of paddle boards, and you had to try to run across. Jalen and Jackson did great. Wade did okay. Jorn did pretty well. and I was not so successful. After being humiliated by trying to run across paddleboards, that afternoon they had a paddleboard aerobics class, and so our group decided to try our hand at that as well. As you can see, these activities were very dangerous and not for the faint of heart. After that, the hotel staff talked Wade and Joran into participating in a dance lesson.
Back. Right.
Then it was time for my afternoon stroll along the beach. Then after getting ready, we headed to one of the other fabulous restaurants that the resort had to offer. The resort also had a little ice cream parlor that we liked to visit. I really enjoyed just walking through the resort at night and seeing all the lights and the beautiful landscaping. It was a beautiful place to visit. The next morning, the hotel staff wanted Evan to participate in some game. He said he couldn't because he didn't have any sunscreen on yet, and so they decided to take matters into their own hands. One of their activities that day was a foam party. Later that day, we decided to risk our lives and leave the resort and go on an excursion to swim with sharks. I was not able to take my camera in the water, so I did not get any pictures of us actually swimming with the sharks, but it was a great experience. After swimming with the sharks, our boat headed to this area where a lot of boats would come together in some shallow water, and we got off and had a little beach party. We had a great time, but then it was time to head back to the hotel. That night at supper, we were serenaded by a mariachi band. The next morning, we again started at the beach, but then made our way to the pool to enjoy the day. Today, I thought I might be better at the paddleboard run, but I was not. After watching some entertainment at the pool, we then headed back to our rooms to get ready for dinner. That night we went to Hibachi Grill at our sister resort, the Breathless. Walking back from the Breathless that evening was just beautiful again. That night at the entertainment, Wade participated.
Yes, last one. Wade from Indiana. Is this right? Yeah, come on. You do that, come on. Oh my God. Now good time. Right now.
The next morning, we all met up by the lobby to get ready to head out for our second excursion. It was a very dangerous excursion where we would ride dune buggies. We rode them along gravel roads to the Dominican countryside and then along a beach. After we all survived this dune buggy experience, we headed down to cool off in a lagoon. There are many other stories that we could tell about this excursion, but I will leave those for another day. Back at the resort, it was time for some more pool activities. Our last night there, our family got together again for some pictures out by the pool. And then we headed down to the beach for a little dance party and a fire show. As you can see, the Dominican is a very dangerous place. In fact, the very week that we were down there, Big Papi David Ortiz was shot. But luckily, somehow, all of our group made it back alive. We will definitely be back to visit the Dominican at some point again and tempt fate.